Hello, CY79 here. I'm just doing a bit of an update on Star Wars. Now, I, like a lot of fans, are going to be paying a lot of attention to the box office in the next few days. Now, Box Office Mojo has reported that the Rise of Skywalker brings in 40 million from the first day previews. The first day preview was 40 million, and it is the fifth largest preview gross ever. The performance comes in 5 million short of the 45 million that Last Jedi brought in, which went on to deliver $220 million for its free-day domestic debut. Breakdown is below in the article. Now, The Force Awakens made 57 million in its first day preview. Friday it was 119 million, and its whole weekend was 247.9 million. Now, The Last Jedi brought in 45 million, so that was less, and the Friday gross was 104.68 million, which was less, and the overall weekend gross was 220 million, which was less than the $247 million that Force Awakens brought in. Now, the Last Jedi made about 700 million less than The Force Awakens, so there was bad word of mouth, there was a drop off. There was a lot of excitement for The Force Awakens and a lot of letdown for The Last Jedi. Now, with this film, they are predicting it's going to make less. I think the 3-day weekend they were guessing around 200 million, and they dropped it down to about 175 million. So they're guessing it's going to make less, and it has made less on the first day preview. But that may be a matter of word of mouth, people waiting to see what other people think, because there's a lot of problems with The Last Jedi, and a lot of fan fighting and disagreement. So some people might just be waiting to see how it fares. But the good news is, when you go to Rotten Tomatoes, we see that the audience score is finally in, and it's 86%. So the critics score has gone down to 57%, but the audience score is up to 86%. So what we're seeing, and what I'm seeing from a lot of reviews and what a lot of people are saying, is that people did enjoy the film. They do have some issues with it. It does seem very packed with, a lot of people are saying it's two films crammed into one. They had to fix The Last Jedi, they had to explain things, they had to re-establish things. There's a lot in the film. It really should have been two films. But people basically are enjoying it. The feeling is there, the mood is there. It feels like Star Wars. They feel like people are enjoying it, and that's good. Now, whether this is a bit like the Phantom Menace, where people are just sort of experiencing it and not thinking about it, and when they review it later, it's going to be reviewed a lot harshly because there's a lot of plot holes and things that don't make sense or things that aren't explained. I feel like that already. I felt like that the first time, but I also knew the kind of rut they were in and where Rian Johnson had left them. So I kind of forgive them and give them a little bit of a pass because they were in a bad situation. I probably will see the film again because I have some friends that want to see it, and I did see The Force Awakens a second time, so that was the first time I'd ever seen a Star Wars film twice. I always see the Star Trek films multiple times, so I might see it again. It's the last one, and it was very, very packed with information, and I've forgotten a lot of it. The MacGuffins, I'm like, why did they have to go and get those again? I've kind of forgotten a lot of it. The next day, a lot of it just left, and that's probably because it wasn't that meaningful, some of the MacGuffin stuff. It does seem to be a bit of an alias, just chasing stuff sort of story in some ways, which they probably could have done without, and just they probably could have gotten around some of that and spent more time focusing on some of the other elements that sort of people are confused about. But overall, there isn't the giant backlash against the film and the boycott that a lot of people wanted because of The Last Jedi. A lot of people are letting it just taking it for what it is and enjoying it, and I'm kind of glad to see that because I enjoyed it, and I'm glad other people are enjoying it. And I saw a good video from Matt Jarvo talking about how basically we complained, they tried to fix it, they did their best, we have to give them some credit, and I'm giving them some credit and some criticism, but I am enjoying it, and I'm glad other people are. And I just now wonder, what are the Phantom Menace going to talk about? I guess, like he said, they'll just go to the next thing, which is probably going to be Well, Discovery season 3 is coming up, so that should do. But I mean, I hate Discovery season 1 and 2. Well, 1, 2 had huge problems, some good points, but not enough to compensate for the rest of it. And season 3, destroying the Federation, giving us no future, saying humanity will basically destroy itself. I have huge problems with that. So I reckon that's where they're going to go. And I think there were a lot of people who just wanted to hate this film, and a lot of people are hating it just for the sake of it and ignoring any of the good elements, just like there are some people who are ignoring all the flaws and acting like it's perfect and saying it's the greatest film ever. It's some people, I think I've seen some people saying it's better than the original or the best film since the original, which is just trying to build it up. And it's bizarre the way people have these agendas and have these ways of just the way they deal with movies when they want people to like it or they want people not to like it. I really think you should just let the film be itself and let people see it for themselves and not try to have an agenda and sell or position the film a certain way. But that's enough of my 2 cents. I really just wanted to talk about the fact that the audience score is bigger than the critic score, because the what people are saying basically is that to write The Last Jedi, they have sort of gotten the scorn of the critics, because a lot of the critics liked The Last Jedi, but the audience didn't. So now that's why we've got the critics turning, and it's rotten as far as the critics are concerned, but the audience score is higher and the audience are liking it. So, but then again, can we trust Rotten Tomatoes? Because they delete a lot of they have a lot of ways of invalidating and removing scores they don't like. So who knows? But either way, it's early days. It's Saturday. We'll see after the main weekend how it fares with the overall criticisms and with the box office. In China, it hasn't done that well, but everyone's latching onto that. But Star Wars has never been that popular in China, and they knew it wasn't going to be, which is something they were really worried about. So, and hey, Joker made $1 billion without even opening in China, but they are very different films, so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go, thanks. Feel free to like, subscribe, or comment. Comments are fun. Thanks, bye.